Hello, welcome back to the Luxe Budget. I'm really excited about today's video because I want to talk to you about my 3 top wines for the summer. And I wanted to keep it a little bit more varied than my typical palette. So we're gonna do a white wine, a red wine, and a rosé. And we're gonna start off with the white wine, which if you have watched my videos before, this will not be a surprise to you. I think the top white wine I'll be drinking this summer is the Bourgogne Chardonnay from Domaine Famille Paquet. This is usually starting around like $25-ish. It depends on where you get it. What I really like about this wine is that it's a little bit bolder than your typical white wine. So it's got all of those elements of a bold Chardonnay. Without being too light. It focuses a little bit more on minerality than it does on like the oakiness that you would get from like a Sonoma County or Napa Valley Chardonnay. And then it's also very dry and somewhere in between. It's not super acidic like a Sauvignon Blanc, but it's also not super sweet or soft, I guess is the other word that people use against acidic. It's somewhere in the middle. It is very easy sipping. It is very great for a day out. You serve it chilled, and then it's also going to pair really well with like shellfish, pasta, cheeses, cured meats, that kind of thing. And it's refreshing. It is very mild to me for a Chardonnay. So if you've got a Chardonnay lover who really likes the bold flavors of a lot of oak contact, this is not going to be the one. But if you're more of like a Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc, a lighter bodied white wine kind of person, then this is going to check all of those boxes for you and just offer a little bit more complexity than your typical light bodied Chardonnay or medium bodied Chardonnay. The next one I want to talk about is a red wine. It is a Beaujolais. And the reason I really like this is it's made from Gamay grapes. So it's still very light. It's still very, I want to say it's fruity on the nose, not terribly so on the palate. But you would serve this in my head like lightly chilled, and it would go perfect if you are at a barbecue and you are having like a chicken or some kind of pork. I had it actually last weekend at a barbecue where we were doing brats, and it was just the perfect combination there. I think red wine gets overlooked a lot in the summer because it's typically, compared to white wine at least, it's a little bit heavier. It's a little bit less of a sippable drink, I think, at least stereotypically. And so what I love about this bottle is that it's super jammy on the nose. It's got all of those fruit elements. It also can be slightly chilled. It's a French wine, and you know how I feel about my French wines. Actually, all of the ones on this list are from France. But it's, what's the word? Soif, soif is the French word for like it's easily sippable. It's good for like if you want something that's not too complex. This bottle usually ranges, that I've seen it, around like $28 to $32. This is a really delicious one. It's from Domaine de Romerans, and it's Regenie, and going to be perfect for sipping on at a barbecue, serving chilled. It's not terribly expensive, but it's good enough that you can feel like happy about gifting this to somebody. The last one is a rosé. It's Trien Rosé. This is also from France. It is made from, I believe it's a mixture of Chenin Blanc and Cinsault grapes. So again, rosé comes from red grapes typically. In this case, it's a blend with Chenin Blanc, which is a white grape, that it's in contact with its skin for just a little bit before its age, before maturation. This one sits at around $22 is what I've got it for. It is really light, and it's very dry as well, but it's not like dry to the extent that, you know, it's puckering your mouth too much. It's pretty acidic, but not terribly so. Again, we're not ranging on the Sauvignon Blanc territory there. and it's pretty light bodied. And when you're sipping on this, I got a lot of like strawberry and citrus on the nose and on the palate. It's pretty consistent, I think, with what you smell and what you taste. But then there's also like some peach, maybe some apple in there as well. And I brought this on a picnic with my friends where we were eating Vietnamese food. We had some, Vietnamese / Thai, some Asian cuisine, I should say, where we had some Vietnamese spring rolls and then some soba noodles and edamame. And it was just perfect because it balanced out some of the spice in the noodles, and it was also just light enough to be really interesting and delicious to drink on its own. Plus it hits that like $22-ish mark, which I think is perfect for an everyday kind of sipping bottle. It's not so much that you feel like you shouldn't just open it up and have some at home, but it's also not so cheap that you can't make a moment out of it, or you can't feel good about bringing that along to a party. So for me, that's kind of the sweet spot. And it's the perfect everyday sipping wine for the summer. If you're into rosé, I would highly recommend it. I've seen it all around Chicago recently. So I don't think that you would have any issues finding this bottle here. So that being said, let me know if you have any other go-to summer sipping wines that you like. These are just my go-tos that I've had over the last couple of weeks that I know I'll be drinking all summer long. Thank you and cheers. It's going to be perfect